Hey guys, thank you for joining us this evening on It's Live Saturday night. We have a great guest today. We've seen him on our show before, but before we do that, let's get to know our co-host again today. Rios, what's up, bud? Let him know how you're doing today.
So, not gonna lie, I'm like 15 micheladas deep, so
Yeah, I
we're
can
in for
tell,
a fucking
sir.
show.
I can tell. I can tell. He's wearing the shades. You know it's about to go down when he's wearing the
Right?
shades. And of course, we got Poppy in the house. What's up, Poppy?
Hey man, I just gotta say, brother, thank
Mhm.
God you're back.
Why?
Because I hate
Why?
I hate having the responsibility
Oh,
of
dude,
of
no, you.
making this
Oh,
thing like work.
hold on. We'll talk about that in a second. But let me introduce Bo. Bo,
No,
thank you for
don't give
joining.
him credit.
Hold
Don't do
on,
that. Don't give him
hold
credit.
on,
What's
hold
wrong
on.
with you?
Rio's about to be exited out. Bo, thank you for joining us this Saturday night, brother. I know it's almost like last minute, but thank you for coming in clutch with us, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man. I always appreciate you guys having me on. It's a ton of fun. So, yep.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it. So yeah, Poppy said, yeah, I was out in Mexico for a while, few days, but
Mexico
on
or the Titanic?
yeah,
He was
Mexico.
out looking for them people.
It was outlook, yeah. No, but honestly, I gotta say, when I watched the show, I was like, y'all did a great job at it, Poppy. You did amazing job. Rios dragged the show down, but other than that, it was
Dude,
no.
dude,
Y'all did great though. Seriously, y'all
you
did great.
left me alone with Rios and freaking Sam.
Oh,
How am I the youngest one out of the three, and I was the
and the
one
more
having to
mature.
fucking keep them in like on task?
You were the mature. You were the mature one.
Oh
Oh
God.
yeah, no. Y'all did great. Like y'all held the fort down. I thought that was awesome. So one of the things that I was going to talk to before we move on to the thing. Bo and I have a thing in common. Both you just came back from Mexico, right, Bo? You were in Puerto Vallarta.
Correct.
How? All right. So let
Said
me
it.
let me ask you
Puerto
this. So
Vallarta.
how Puerto Vallarta? You have to
Puerto
roll the R.
Vallarta.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
You.
place. If you've ever been, it's
It
a
is.
beautiful place to
Yeah,
visit. Oh
yeah,
my
I
god,
highly recommend going. Maybe not during the middle of summer, but definitely go. It is a beautiful place.
So let me ask you about like you. How long did it take you to actually drive from Puerto Vallarta? Because you drove from Puerto Vallarta literally all the way to Seattle. How long did that take you? By the way.
So, I'm. You can do it faster. I made it take 6 days, and that way my average drive day was somewhere between 8 and 9.5 hours. Uh,
damn.
Anything beyond that is brutal seat time
Yeah.
wise. Plus, I was towing a trailer the whole time,
Yeah.
so at some point I wanted to be done driving. And so timing wise, it kind of made the most sense because you go from PV to Mazatlan and then to Navajoa, uh, then to Nogales, Tucson, Vegas, Boise, and then Seattle.
You're a
Yeah, I was gonna
madman.
say.
You're a
I was gonna
madman,
say.
sir.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you told me
Right?
about Nogales, I was like, when you said Nogales, I was like, oh, you crossed the Arizona
Yep.
part of the border over here to the U.S.
Yeah.
Uh, when I went this past week, so I went on a bus, and you're probably wondering why would you go on a bus? There's
Why
airplanes.
did you go?
Yes,
Why did you go on a bus?
Nice.
you ready?
Nice.
So the area
It
that I'm
wasn't a,
in,
it wasn't a vacation. You got
it
put
was,
on the
it
bus.
was put on the bus. I went old school like back when I
Handcuffs.
was a kid.
Handcuffs.
You got
Were
great.
you wearing bracelets? Were you wearing
Yeah, it was
friendship bracelets?
it was like
Bracelets, anklets.
it was green. It
A
was
mouth
guys in
guard.
uniform. Yeah, it was a guy in uniform, like a bunch of
All
yeah.
right,
It
all
was
right, Hannibal Lecter. Hello, Clarice.
so
It's funny
yeah.
though because where you were crossing, I would have rather taken a bus.
Yeah. No, so the bus line was actually fine. I hadn't been like okay, so you gotta understand I haven't been back in like 16 years. It was the first time in
Okay.
16 years that I had gone. So I was like, it was very different from when I went. Long story short, so we go, and you know how Nuevo Laredo, the border town of Nuevo Laredo is. It's a little, So we're crossing it at like we had already gotten all the inspections, or whatever, and then there's after the border checkpoint in Nuevo Laredo, there's like you go through the city and then you have to hit the highway. But we all know Nuevo Laredo is a little sketchy for. And so we hit a street light. Now keep in mind this is at like 1:30 in the morning. There's a street light
Oh,
Oh,
where we're all by ourselves in a street light. to our left. Now, again, this is probably a little bit of paranoia from me as well because we were watching Narcos Mexico right before I went. So,
so before you move on,
yeah.
when you crossed the border, did it get all orange? I don't know.
Yes, all
please.
remember,
Get like an orange tint on everything.
yeah, it was all. I sent y'all the picture. Y'all should know.
You did. I was like, why is it so orange? It's true. Oh my God, it's real.
So it was probably because, and again, this is probably paranoia from like when my girlfriend and I watched like Narcos Mexico or whatever we were watching beforehand, which is totally a bad idea. And so, yeah,
very bad idea, sir.
And so we're at 1:30 in the morning. We're like at a street light. That, by the way, that street light took forever to turn green. And out of nowhere, there's this. Yeah, that's how it
starts. That's how it
then
starts.
there's this like white like Lexus that goes to our left. No license plates.
Of course.
A black Lexus on our right. Unmarked also. I was like, oh, it's about I'm the only one that's awake. Everybody else is like snoring.
Órale, mijo, are you
I'm over here looking like, oh, it's going down. What's going on now? We're gonna
you can already hear in the background, and this is where he knew he fucked up.
Exactly.
Like, plata plomo.
It gets better. So then there's a Hummer behind the car.
What do you have, a rocket launcher?
Right on the right side, and I was like, "Oh, it's going down."
All of a sudden, a helicopter comes out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, and so I see a Netflix camera crew there. No, and so then
and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They're not gonna help you. They're just gonna let it happen.
Yeah,
and then it's Arnold. Come with me to live.
We do not negotiate. We do not negotiate with terrorists. No. And so. It's there. It's probably the longest minute because this all happened quickly, and then suddenly, like, our bus driver is just kind of like looking to his left, looking to his right, and then the light turns green, and this dude just takes it, and then they just stay, and we could like look back. We look back, and the guys are veering left, and I was like, dude, that was paranoia at its finest, and
For
so.
sure.
For like a good minute and a half, I was like, something's happening here. Something's going to happen. But then the ride was fine. On the way over there, everything was fine. Went back, saw my grandpa. I hadn't seen him in a good, not 16 years, but he came over. Learned a lot of like history from our family, which was great. We have baseball history in our family now. I think now I know where I get it from. I'm happy about that. And
now you know where you suck at baseball.
Oh yeah,
it definitely skips you.
Besides Bo, which one of y'all can actually swing at a bat?
I can swing at a bat.
No, you can't, Rios. No, you cannot.
I'm not gonna say. I mean, I'm not gonna promise that my shoulder's not gonna come off after the third swing.
No. But
what are you down there like Mr. Potato Head? What are we talking about?
I go for power, man.
Yeah, you go. Yeah,
out of the three
no
of us,
play discipline whatsoever.
I'm the most athletic of the three of us. I think I can hit at least one.
Dude,
ball.
Look like Maldi. That's me. I just swing, baby. I just swing.
That's about technique, Rios. It's a little different. It's about technique. No, but and then here's the best part. Now on the way back, apparently there. Okay, so I don't know if you passed through this area. You know Saltillo, Mexico.
I didn't cross
It's
through
a little bit right before Monterrey if you're coming up north. But
okay, yeah, no, I didn't go that route.
So it's a famous city known for like it's built around a mountain. So like a lot of like in the older days before they fixed up the roadways, a lot of people would like die because they would just fall off the roadways. It was really steep and all that, right?
I like you say that in a way to make it sound like it was a long time ago. They're literally right now paving the highways.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of areas. Yeah,
and killed people last year.
Yeah,
because of those roads.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And like you can see it like on the roadways. There's a bunch of little crosses and all that, like for people that have like passed right then and there. Yep. So then on our way back, Saltillo. So apparently our bus driver, and you know this because you've been on the highway. There's the like where you pay, and then there's the way where you go for free. They call it la cuota o la libre, right?
Yeah, they called it the best of luck.
Yes, the best of luck.
La Libre is where the cartels stay at.
Right. So
There's
Right.
a million speed bumps on those routes.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a million speed bumps, and every little town is trying to hustle you out of money at the speed bumps. Like you take the toll roads.
Yeah. It's
So dead people you're driving over.
So then
right, like those are bodies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ay, Dios mío.
So we get to Saltillo. We're getting close to Saltillo when suddenly our bus driver just goes to the left, which is the Highway 54, which is the non-paying way, the free. And everybody's like, "Wait, what are we doing? Where are we going?" Apparently, they had told the guy over the radio, "Hey, there's like an accident that's been there for about 8 hours." And it's not clearing up in Saltillo. And there's like, nope. Yeah, it's 8 hours. 8 hours. They had been there for 8 hours.
So to give you some idea why that happens, so insurance down there is a little bit different, and you're not allowed to move the cars until they're done with their investigation. So wherever you get hit, you don't try and get out of the road or do anything like that. Those cars stay there until whenever they're done with whatever they're doing. So an accident can absolutely destroy a highway an entire day, no problem.
Yeah. And that's that was one of those things that happened. And so we have
God bless America.
Yeah.
God bless America.
So at least in the how do you call it, in the highway where you pay, like you have cell phone signal, you have service.
Yes.
So we went on where you don't pay. There's no service, all desert for about 5 hours almost. No signal, and again, it like you said exactly, nothing but bumps. Basically, the worst way you can go. And the whole time I'm thinking, let's not. I don't know where a truck comes out or anything. That was like the worst thing. I was like, a truck comes out, and all right, guys, everybody's getting out. And so, yeah, luckily none of that happened. But man, every like a few minutes, your anxiety was just going through the roof.
And driving down there is an experience if you haven't done it, because a lot of the highways are 2-lane highways, right? And so there's really 3 lanes. And until you've been down there, you don't realize that whatever lane you're supposed to be in, you need to mostly kind of be on the shoulder, because the double stripe in the middle is actually a 3rd lane that I was not aware of at first. And so you'll have buses passing buses mostly in your lane, and you're like hugging guardrails and stuff, trying not to get smashed by oncoming cars. And so it was a learning experience when I drove down for sure.
No, exactly.
My first time driving there, I was 21. I was very drunk. I'm like, why is this guy so close to me? Like, why is this semi next to me? Like, what the hell, man? Like, there's a white light right there. Like, what are you doing? I had no idea.
Yep.
I learned that day. Like, oh, do that. Like, what do you mean you can do that? Like,
low key, that was my uncle bringing us into the country.
Hey,
I will say this: people think traffic here is bad. Drive, Mexico, Central America. Oh my God, that is an experience.
Have you driven in Central America?
I have. I drove in
the thing that's funny though is they're much kinder when it comes to like letting you in and stuff.
I guess depends where you're at, really.
No, they're actually very nice. They will let you pass.
Everything.
Poppy, you used to live down there as well. How, did you remember that at all, like, or anything? But you were very young.
I never learned how to drive till I moved here. In Mexico, I remember I lived in southern Mexico, and it was traffic. I remember traffic, especially in the big cities, was pretty bad. But I've heard like up north is way worse.
I will say this: so down there's no stop signs, there's no street lights, there's like no markers really. It's just a free for all. But
you
have
to
know where you're going.
You have to kind of know where the one ways are without actually having signs or having cars facing the right way to let you know. So
there's less accidents there than here. Like there's very less accidents in here.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, over there they just look like accidents.
Yeah.
I mean, the cars are rough, but that's because all the roads are rock.
That's true. Feather Freeber says, now this is just good times. Thanks, guys. Oh, thank you for joining our channel. That's what we do. We just we clown each other here and there. We just talk about good times, very friendly environment. That's the whole purpose of this.
I will say
Fuck
this:
you,
it's
Carla.
easy. It's easier. I'll say this: it's easier driving through Mexico than El Salvador. El Salvador, oh my god, man, I will never do that again, ever.
The good thing about El Salvador
Worse-
is you can drive through the whole thing in like 25 minutes.
Is that true?
Unless you go to the mountains. Oh my
Dude, I
god,
just like talking shit, man.
He's just saying stuff.
I don't know anything.
bro, that drive through the mountains is the worst experience of my entire life.
Yeah.
There's
It was
mountains in El
terrible.
Salvador.
There is.
I'm surprised a
There
mountain
is.
would fit in that country.
Me too. Me too.
It's just one mountain. That's it.
It is the one mountain.
Oh, I was kidding.
No. There's
Hill.
probably more.
That's
So-
the
hill.
mountain. That's the name of the mountain. It's El Salvador. That's the name of the mountain.
That's a hill.
It's a hill.
No,
That's all
so,
it is.
like-
a hill.
So my mom's Salvadorian, so the township group is like way up there in the mountains. Like, oh, it can't be that bad. No, that was the worst experience of my entire life.
South
Never
American
again.
Speed bump. El Salvador.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
South American speed bump.
Hey,
I
though,
don't even know why I'm here. I don't know
dude, the
why I'm here.
pupusas are great though. I love them. I love them.
They
Yeah,
are.
it's
So
like
I will say this. I don't throw up, but that trip I threw up 3 times going to my mom's town. Like it was
Got it.
terrible.
Okay, I'm glad you shared that with us, Rios.
It's just a nasty place. It's just
It is.
Makes
Don't
sense.
don't visit.
So Feather Freebird says, "Good lord." Feather Freebird says, "You guys are making my Saturday bear. Thanks again, fun group." Oh, glad that
Thank
Hey.
you,
you're enjoying our
brother.
show.
Thank you.
Yep.
We
Yep.
were
Okay.
doing
I
we
don't
were doing
understand it, but hey, we'll take it.
Hey, you know,
We're- we're doing the Lord's work.
That's
Yeah.
Doing the Lord's work.
as Rio shows up drunk on like 15 micheladas.
I mean,
Turn water into, the Lord turned water into wine, right? It's not, that's part of it, right?
You smart.
Smart. All right, y'all. So
I
let's
went to
get.
Catholic school. I know things.
Did you? Did you really?
Yeah, Venezuela has a lot of Catholic schools, man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. By the way, so in case you're an oboe, Poppy's from Venezuela. Rios is from a
I'm
different
actually
country.
from
every week.
Delaware. I don't know what they're talking about.
He's from Delaware. He's from Idaho.
I don't know where Delaware is, bro.
Well, in case people are confused, my grandfather's German. My grandma is Spaniard and Guatemalan. My other grandparents are Salvadoran and Mexican.
Is that why you're such a bitch?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop, guys.
What did I do to you?
Goodbye, guys.
What the hell?
Oh my god, that was good.
I come with peace and love. This piece of shit comes.
Yo, let's
Sucks.
so we're here to talk about sports and poor Bo's
Are
over
we?
here like yeah,
Are
we're
we?
supposed to be, and poor Bo's over here like babysitting us.
No, it's good. It's good. I always
Alright.
like a low key show because they definitely don't all end up that way.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't
You
wanna
just call
alarm
us a low key
anybody.
show. I'm kidding.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but
Absolutely.
I think something died in my fridge.
What's his name?
What happened?
I don't know. It just happened that thing, and I closed it immediately.
All right,
I'll
Jeffrey.
deal with that
Dahmer.
later.
After all the
Dahmer.
different countries you just called out, it might be you in that fridge. You're pretty.
That's true.
All right.
That's true. Yeah. All right.
That's
So
a-
let's talk.
That's a
You
good
ready? All right,
Jeffrey
so let-
Dahmer.
Right, Dahmer. All right. So Bo, I'm sorry. I'm trying to continue it now. This is our first day back, y'all.
Venezuela's
all right.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
This show has changed a lot in 4 days since I've been gone.
Jeffrey
Alright.
Domer.
Hey, so Bo, Where do you
Yeah,
see-
Dahmer.
where do you see?
I'm
All
sorry.
right.
Where's-
So, so Bo, let's
Priceless.
where do you see your Mariners this year?
Oh,
in the fucking trash.
right. Yeah, the M's are rough, man. So that one's tough because they've been bad for so long. Like I started a hashtag years ago that was from hope to nope, right?
Oh,
Because
wow.
they'd start out spring training and look pretty solid, and then just not play baseball in April, and then they'd start to do something, and then the All-Star break would happen. They'd forget how to play baseball for another like 3 weeks or so. And then right about the time they were mathematically out, they'd go on a run and then miss a wild card by like 4 games. And, they did that consistently for 21 years. So our drought, could drink with you, which was good because there was a lot of it. And then, they teased us by getting into the wild card last year. And then this year we are, 5 games under 500 now, and way out of any kind of playoff race. So, frustrating, but as a Mariners fan, just another year.
Can I ask you something? Because I felt like last year you guys showed a lot of
promise
of going in
potential.
the right direction, right?
Yeah.
Your little what's the name of your rookie? Julio
Rodriguez.
Julio Rodriguez.
Yep.
He looks like the real deal, right? And and
Kelnick has been really good too.
Yeah, the whole
Right.
lineup looks pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
But it like, what were your expectations going into this year? Because obviously, I feel like every Mariners fan thought it wasn't going to be this bad.
So I thought they were going to be a wild card team again. Fighting for a wild card spot anyway. I still had the Astros as the front runner in our division.
Damn right.
That being said, I didn't see the Rangers getting this much better.
I don't think anybody did either.
But that was kind of the big thing with our division is, the Astros cleaned up last year, right? And then we snuck in as a wild card, which was awesome. But then during the offseason, the Mariners did absolutely nothing to get better. And the Angels and the Rangers both added pieces to help their team out. And so you see that in their win and loss column, right? Where both those teams are significantly better than they were last year. And the Mariners are playing a very similar style that they were last year without getting quite as good of production. I think that probably the biggest issue with this Mariners team isn't really run production. It's how bad the pitching has been. So they are roughly a 150 ball club if they score 4 or less runs. And you should be able to win games scoring 4 runs. Right. But you end up with a game like yesterday where it was a 4-4 tie in the 7th. You're like, okay, they're looking like they're going to do something. And then they give up 8 runs in the 8th and then 3 more in the 9th. And you end up losing 15-4. And you're just like, oh, cool.
Do you see them making any moves to fix that, or do you think that they're just going to ride it for the rest of the year?
I feel like they have to ride it because are you gonna add an entire bullpen? I mean, you're gonna be able to make a move for a guy or 2 guys maybe, and you have 2 starters and it's either 2 or 3 relievers that are all in a 6 ERA or higher. And I mean, you're just not going to win games that way. So I don't know if there's anything they can really do to fix this team for this season. The only thing they can really hope is that they can go on, a run and, try and chip away at that wild card race. I think I want to say they're 7 games out of the final spot in the wild card. So, I mean, there's a chance, right? Like,
is there anybody in the AAA system that maybe looks promising that maybe you guys can call up? Because I feel like if you get 2 good bullpen arms and then you bring somebody else in.
Did I laugh out loud? My bad.
You did. I was like, all right.
I don't know, because I don't know. Like, I don't really pay attention to AAA all that much unless we're talking about the Sugarland Space Cowboys.
Short answer is no. They have
no, not really. I mean, there's nothing that's going to be able to offset the issue that they have, because again, it would have to be multiple guys, right? So even if you had 1, it'd be 1. It's not like most people's AAA teams are just stacked with talent, right? So
Space Cowboys.
So I look at it as unfortunately, unless they can really start pulling stuff together, they had some injuries too, but if they can't pull stuff together relatively soon, I think this year is going to be really hard. It'll be another one of those where they come up just short in the wild card. But on the plus side, it's not like they're the Phillies where they literally have no one representing them in the All-Star game. So not all things are lost, but
to be a Philly fan.
Oh, Phillies.
So I propose a trade. Y'all can have Rafael Montero back, and we get J-Rod. You cool with that?
No way.
Take Montero, and we'll take a bag of chips.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take the mascot.
Take the mascot at this point.
Hey,
Jeez.
we'll take those sweet green uniforms. We'll take those.
That and the Space Needle. The Space Needle.
Perfect.
Space Needle. No, I mean that's the thing. Like we got Rafael Montero from you guys 2 seasons ago, and then like y'all were like, okay, take him, whatever. And then he actually did pretty decently because with
Last
y'all
year,
He was really good.
he-
And that's the
Yes.
thing.
yeah when he was with you guys, it's like the Rafael Montero that we have now. It you know what I mean? It's the exact same. He's hitting at a 7 point something ERA. Like that's awful for a closer.
Absolute
And
cheek.
currently-
Absolute cheeks.
And
Yeah.
so it's like at this point, it's like I feel like you guys are like, oh, that's the guy that we know.
Like,
You know,
even-
like
But
Even
last
when-
year was an ace. Like
Even when he
happened?
does come in and does an okay job, you know that you cannot put him for more than 1 inning. Like that.
no,
And
absolutely
Dusty, because he has so much trust in his guys,
Mhm.
like sometimes he takes them out for longer than that, and I'm just like, dude, sit
What
your
are you
ass
doing?
down.
I mean, so look at it this way, right? He had a good season last year, but Flacco had a good season once too. So
yeah,
not. Yeah.
he did.
everybody has that one unicorn year that comes out at some point, and that might have been it. We ended up getting Robbie Ray. He looked really promising, and then he immediately
So Jordan
played
crushed his
horribly.
dreams.
He
Yeah.
played horribly and then got hurt. And honestly, it was probably better for the M's that he got hurt. So
Like Yorda hit that to the Space Needle.
right? Yeah, it was like back in the day when they had Bobby Ayala. It was just how many runs is he gonna give up?
Yeah.
It was bye Ayala. That was pretty much.
Oh man,
Yeah,
what a
no,
nickname.
yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So are you? So you basically feel like it's kind of like back to square one with the M's again, or do you feel like there's, hey, you know what, we can just probably address a few positions, not this year, not this season, maybe the following, and we can be contenders again, and probably be a wild card team, or even give the Astros a run for their money in the division, or anything like that, or.
Yeah,
what
I mean,
pieces do you think that
do
they
you
need
guys-
to add?
Yeah, and do you guys have any cap space or?
I do believe they have cap space. The M's notoriously don't spend a ton of money, so cap space isn't generally an issue. I think the biggest thing is they needed to get more out of their pitching than they have. I don't even know if you necessarily have to change guys. You may just have to change how they're utilizing them. But as far as for this year, I mean, it's going to take quite a few things having to fall in place for them to kind of get back in this race,
It's gonna
especially
take-
when you look at the last, few games. They've really started to slide. Until about a week ago, they were really just kind of staying around 500, and now they're really starting to trail off. So if they can't right the ship there, then the season will be over pretty quick because the teams that are ahead of us are playing really good baseball.
I got 2 words for you, man. 2 words: Shohei Ohtani. That's all you need, man. That's all you need.
2 positions right there.
I mean, and dude's a beast. There is no doubt.
I want him. Sell the farm. I don't care what it takes.
I
Get that man
don't
a
want him in
team.
Houston. I do not want him in Houston because
No.
I do.
I feel like we're gonna give a lot, and we're already a championship team, so it doesn't make any sense for us to.
This season, are we?
But I
This
feel
season,
like
are
it
we?
makes more sense for a team
We could.
like Seattle that
Sure.
have nothing
Wow.
really to lose to make that trade.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the M's
We'll
is
get them Montero. They can have Montero for Otani.
Oh.
Straight up. Who says
the
no?
only time that the M's spend money is if they're doing like a desperation splash, and that's where they got like Cano, where they spent a fortune and then got virtually no production out of him, and then ended up shipping him back to New York anyway, after giving him a ton of money to be not very good. So yeah, no, I don't know that Ohtani would really be awesome for the M's. it'd be fun to watch, right? I mean, that dude
he'll sell a lot of tickets. That's for sure.
Sell a lot of tickets. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Astros
I don't know that it
need
wins
him.
a lot of games, but it would definitely sell a lot of tickets.
Dude, I don't know because
Hey, Jim Creed, if you're watching, trade for Ohtani. Whatever it takes.
he's not
Whatever
watching.
it takes.
He's not watching.
Well, no,
Because
because I mean,
he is.
they don't actually need the run production, right? Like the M's are actually scoring a lot of runs. They just give up more runs than they score.
See, but
So-
this way, he's gonna be lights out on the mound. You already know that. You can probably win those games where he pitches. And
Sure, but
the
that's
game,
one in every 5 start.
yeah, but then
The math ain't mathin'.
but
They're already
the
worse.
problem is that you guys score 5 and then you give up 7. With him in the
Yeah.
lineup, you can score 8. So just give up 7. As long as you score 8, you can give up 7. You know?
Math.
This
Math.
is a game of runs, and the team with the more
And this
runs
is
wins.
math brought to you by Poppy.
Right?
The man that flunked out of 3rd grade.
Listen,
No,
I just want
that's-
Ohtani to go to a different team. I'm tired of seeing him on the Angels.
No, I'm with you there.
And
Well, and
he needs to
go
come
somewhere
here.
he wants to be competitive.
Here.
But I don't want him
Pitch
to
down.
go. But I don't want him to go to a competitor. I want him to go to another
here.
shitty team. So
No,
Mariners,
here.
sign
Please
him
come
up.
here. No, come here.
So if anything, Rios is hammered. Honestly, you know what's crazy? I actually see him going to the Dodgers. Like, there's been a lot of
And that's what I
speculation.
don't want.
I know. I don't want him going to the
No.
Dodgers
It's
either.
such a Dodgers
I
thing
don't.
to do.
It's a Dodgers thing to
I
do
can
to
see
go
that.
off and get him.
I hope he goes to the Mets. That'll be
Man,
great.
why do you want him to get worse? That's not cool.
Yeah,
Why?
You just want him to go to a really bad team. Like, you just name him worse after worse.
Dude, he would be lights out in the Twins, bro. You already know. The Rockies should sign him.
Jeez, man. What are you trying to ruin this man's career? Like,
I
I
was
don't
like,
No, I just don't, dude.
Him, like,
I don't want him
What's
to go.
next? Sugarland? The Space
I'm
Cowboys.
taking my fucking Sugarland. Dude, I don't want him to go to the Dodgers. I don't want him to go to
No.
the Yankees.
The Yankees. Yes.
I don't think the Yankees will get him. It'll be the Dodgers, if anything. That's what I'm thinking.
yeah, now I could see the Dodgers picking him up.
What about like
Right there. It's right
about-
there.
the
Yeah.
Walk to
Padres
the
or the
stadium.
Giants?
Yeah, right.
The Padres or the Giants? Because it's still California.
Padres, no. They have too much payroll and they're terrible. He wants to
I
win.
don't think the Giants could afford him either, right?
Yeah, the
What,
Giants
what
can't
about
afford him.
what if they trade Tatis for him?
The Padres?
The Padres, they're still the worst team in their division. He wants to go to a winner.
Yeah, but Otani
He's not-
changes that though.
He wants to go,
You were going to say
higher.
you should go to-
He's not making a ladder move.
Oh,
He
no.
wants to go
Oakland?
up, like,
Just go to Oakland. Just go to Oakland. He might be in a new home next season.
fuck
They
it.
move to Vegas. If they move to Vegas and they want to throw money at somebody, I would throw money at Otani.
Yeah, but he's playing by himself.
He's been doing
Literally.
that in the Angels for the last however long he's been in.
3
I
years.
know, but at least they're above 500. Like they're actually trying.
The A's are literally in our the A's are literally in our division and they're like at the bottom.
Are they though? Are they in our division? I feel like they're a AAA team for the rest
Yeah,
of the
they're
league.
triple A team.
Right?
I think the Space Cowboys
Triple
can
A
take them to
affiliate.
7 games.
Not even triple. They're
You know
a
what?
double A
Re-
affiliate.
Do relegation in MLB. That's do
Just
that.
bring up
Oakland.
the AAA
Oakland,
team.
bye bye.
Bye, Oakland. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's the thing. If anything, like I said, going back to it, I'd see the Dodgers do it, and I can't. I hate the Dodgers, so I would hate to see. If there's really not a team that I feel so bad like that I feel hatred towards, the Dodgers are the one for me. That's just my thing. But I would hate to see
Mostly because of their fans.
right.
I cannot
I would hate
stand
to
those
see.
crybabies.
I just hate to see Ohtani in the Dodgers uniform. It would just be like bleached to my eyes. I don't want to see that. Like I just don't. Would it obviously it'd be that's if Otani's trying to get some. I don't know if he would go. I don't know if they're gonna do it for like the bag, like they're gonna break the bank for him. They would do it
I
to
think-
just basically get the championship or something like that. Get a championship
Yeah.
on him,
I
but
think
not
with
for a
Ohtani,
bag.
I think Ohtani, he's looking at legacy. He wants to win.
Right.
He wants the ring, yeah.
I mean, you know,
That's
And
if
the
good.
Dodgers,
Good.
Dodgers,
if
they're
you're playing
third-
sports,
they're-
you want to get that ring.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dodgers,
he
they're-
can go to the Dodgers, get the ring, and then become a
But
free
they're
agent
third. They're third in the division.
and
They're
get
not
the
gonna
bags
make-
somewhere else.
They probably won't make the playoffs. I wouldn't go there. They're third.
Yeah, but the Dodgers are one of those teams where like one off season they can turn it around.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, they have enough pieces that if things really clicked for them, they'd be right there.
And it's a free agent destination. You already know that.
Otani would definitely help that. Like if that's the case, because like you guys just said, the Dodgers are an organization that can turn it around like that. Otani would be like almost like a missing piece of the puzzle for them, and it would definitely turn their season around. It would be instantly a big help for the Dodgers. They would need it.
I mean,
don't get me wrong.
Does he play defense? He's not in the outfield. That's their biggest issue, the defense.
Again, though, this is a game of runs, and my guy, he can make them. He can make them.
He puts them up.
He can make them, but the problem is they give up more runs than they earn. That's their biggest issue.
Yeah, but they still won over 100 games last year. Like you put Otani on that lineup, dude, you're still.
Oh, that was last year. What about this year?
I mean, you'll be saying we're going to win the championship this year. That was last year.
Well, I told you guys, it's the same thing.
They're still over 500, aren't they?
But we're second.
But they're third in their division, though, so it's pretty tight still.
Yeah, but I mean they
still got plenty of time to turn around. That's the thing with the Dodgers.
But like I said, Otani doesn't play in the outfield. He can, pitch, a great game, but
they're actually
one out of 5.
Second in their division.
Yeah, the Dodgers are second.
Yeah, they're only 2 games behind. So, like in a week, they can turn around. In a week,
they're
they can be on top of that.
They're at 568. They're at 568. The Giants are right below them at 554. And the Diamondbacks surprisingly are at 590.
Hey, the Diamondbacks. So I feel like my sleeper teams for this year were the first for me was the Rangers. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they have been.
No,
but I knew they were going to be better.
Impressive.
I knew they were going to be better because of some of the moves they made.
For sure.
I thought the Mariners was going to be one of those sleeper teams because they kind of were one last year.
I did
but
too.
Obviously, they proved me wrong on that.
Oh, no, they're a sleeper team. They haven't woke up yet.
They're hibernating right now. And then the Diamondbacks have a really nice, a few young players, really nice young players over there.
Yep.
They always have a nice young roster. Like young prospects are really good, but like they don't do anything with it. They just sell them and trade them. And
that's actually been the problem with the Mariners for so long. Is we kind of have been the AAA team for the league because we would get talent, we would cultivate that talent, and then we'd send them somewhere else, and they'd inevitably win a ring every time. And as a Mariners fan, you're like, man, this sucks because
it's sad to see
you have the talent, and then they just go somewhere else. They get a ring, and then we're back to just missing the playoffs.
Well, so did the Dodgers with Jordan trading it for peanuts, and look at Jordan now.
Yeah, but at least the Dodgers are competitive.
That's the thing. The Dodgers are competitive.
Are they outside of that Mickey Mouse ring? Are they really competitive?
They are actually competitive.
No, they're competitive.
I hate them. But they're competitive.
What have they won?
The Mariners are competitive. They just happen to give the game away at the end a lot of times.
When you're saying competitive, when you're saying when you're saying competitive, they're consistently in the playoffs or in the run.
Exactly, and not even just like first round exit. They're actually making a playoff run.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so for the Mariners, you have to gauge it. Are they competitive in the game they're in?
Right.
Not necessarily.
Hey, to be fair, the Mariners do make it like a nice 4 innings, and then everything goes to shit. For the first half of the game, they're very competitive.
Well, yeah, but when you think to years past, it was major league where a guy didn't turn on the game until the second inning. He's like, "Oh, I thought you started." I did. It's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't turn it on until the second inning." There was a time that was the Mariners. If a team came out in the first inning and got a run, you could pretty much turn the screen off because you knew the game was over. Even if that was the only run that was scored, we were already behind. It was a wrap. So at least now they're generating runs.
The what?
Oh, I said now they're generating runs. So at least it's competitive day in and day out. And I mean, at the end of the day, they are still in striking distance of a wild card berth. So it's not like you're throwing in the towel yet, but it is trending the wrong direction, which is, where Mariner fans are like, shit, we've seen this movie before.
It's like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. I've seen this before.
Yep.
Yeah. The thing is, like, our division with how good the Angels have been.
Yep.
Obviously, with us, reigning,
Oh,
defending,
the
world
third best team in the
champions.
division.
Trash can champs. Yep.
Bang bang.
Bang bang, motherfucker!
That's right.
and then the Rangers being as good as they've been, it's just gonna be tough for the Mariners for sure.
Yeah, it's a tough division to get out of, but I mean, with the way that the wild card is, like you're not looking to necessarily win the division. Like you're just trying to get in the race, right? Like if you can get into the postseason, awesome. I mean, I do appreciate that because the drought was so long. Major League Baseball decided to give us the last 2 games of the year in October, so we didn't have to lie and say it'd been a long time since we played. We got a regular season game in October, but it's still October, damn it. So
the script was well written for you guys on that last year.
That's right.
Well, it doesn't hit the it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah. I got something for you.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's what I thought. I thought this year too. One of my picks were the Mariners. I mean, just thinking about that.
Actually,
game
all of us was the same. We all picked Mariners.
I picked specifically thinking about that game. I was like, oh, their pitching is going to be fine. Just judging it based off of that.
Honestly,
game where we went 18 innings against you guys, I was like, oh, their pitching is pretty.
They were our hardest opponent in the playoffs. Honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, that series was fun to watch.
It was, man.
It wasn't as fun as the Toronto one, and the only reason I say that is Puerto Vallarta has a lot of Canadians, and I talked a lot of shit, so I was really happy my guy pulled through.
That's what we do here, man. We just talk shit.
It was on site in Mexico with Canadians.
Yep,
on site.
It was on site.
Hey, Bo, what's your least favorite team?
I want to hear this.
In baseball?
Yes.
We can move on to other sports if you want, but yeah.
If we're
baseball first.
If we're gonna do baseball, I'm a 80s kid, right? So I watched the Yankees buy rings, and that pissed me off back then.
Yeah.
Right? Because they basically purchased all-star teams. And we had an era of a Mariners team that was so good, right? You had Randy Johnson and Griffey and Edgar, Tino, A-Rod, Olerud. You had dudes, right? And then you look over at the Yankees and they're like, oh yeah, exactly. And then you look at the Yankees and you're like, oh, cool. They literally bought an all-star team.
Because they can afford it.
Yeah.
Italy Jet, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining us on the show.
What's up, my dude?
What's up? Yeah. They did exactly. They brag about their rings, but I'm like, you bought like a lot of them. Relax. It's not like you.
Don't get me wrong. Winning's winning.
Winning's winning. That's right. That's right.
Motherfuckers.
Winning's winning.
Outside of when they won, when there's like 8 teams, we
don't count those.
When black players can play in the league and free agency, they have 9 rings. Even then, steroids.
So what?
Is like
What are we?
5
What are we?
They got
Are
like
we prorating
3
their
rings.
wins now? We're prorating their wins.
They got 3.
They got 3.
Well, if we're talking about discount jewelry, then yeah, you could include the bang, or you can have the bubble victory for LeBron, right? That's a discount ring.
I don't count that one either. He only has 3 championships.
Yeah, so there's discount rings out there for sure.
No,
but,
I see 2.
They seem fake. I don't know.
Those definitely are. But
yeah, no, so in probably for baseball, it would be the Yankees, only because of that era. Present era, I actually don't care about them either way. And then
they're irrelevant, so no one cares about them.
Yeah, and football, it's probably the Cowboys, but it has nothing to do with the Cowboys.
Yes.
It has to do with the fans mostly.
The fans, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's
every year is their year for like 30 years. Like
them boys and all of that nonsense. But it's just like, okay, so when's the last time you guys won a game in December? Like, like let's not go to the playoffs.
All right, Alan.
Let's actually finish the season.
The year of our Lord, 1996.
Yeah, right. So I mean,
Poppy wasn't even born.
I wasn't.
He wasn't.
What year were you born, Poppy?
1995.
You were born.
Don't put me on the spot like that, bro.
So you're a year old.
I didn't
All right.
study for a test.
I forgot. I apologize.
You know what?
No child left behind except one.
What was that,
The
Bob?
math don't math.
I said we know it's subject he wasn't good at.
Yeah, clearly.
Hey, I got here on the last year of Bush, so I did get left behind. Okay,
You should have left behind.
I got left
Should
behind.
have been.
That's
You were-
awesome.
You didn't make the
Should have
memo.
been.
You didn't make the memo.
Yeah, so I'm a little ways in front of you. I was 81, so it's
Jesus. You're still
Okay,
alive.
Rios
Couple
was
years
65. We're fine.
I was.
Rios was alive during World War One. So you're
Rios was
okay,
there
bud.
when the Yankees won their first championship.
Back in the 1800s.
Rios met Babe Ruth.
I was this bad boy.
yeah. I was gonna say you were throwing him balls. It was batting practice.
He thrown balls
What-
since the 1800s.
What was
Hit
Mickey
it.
Mantle like, Rios?
He was a gentleman. Very kind.
Even in practice, he would point to the stands.
Yeah.
But like, see, I feel like what the Cowboys are now, I feel like that's gonna be the Patriots in like 10 years if they don't find a way to turn it around and go back
I don't
into like winning ways.
I don't
Because the
think they
Patriots
will.
just end like a whole era ended just a few years ago, and a whole
Yeah,
era of dominance. And I feel like that's what the Cowboys were back in the 90s. You know?
Yeah, and I think you're right, because that division isn't the dumpster fire that it was during that era, right? Like there was not a good team in that division that whole time. So it was basically a free pass to the playoffs, and then you got to win 4 games. Now, don't get me wrong, they had some amazing teams during that stretch as well. But when you are basically given 6 wins out of the gate,
the playoffs. The regular season is more like a warm up for the playoffs for them.
for sure. Yeah,
That's what it felt like.
for sure. So I don't know that
Now
you're
look
gonna,
at them.
I don't know that you're going to be able to see them return to anything truly relevant just because of how good the rest of that division
Not
is
for a
currently.
while.
And
You got
it's funny. The
Aaron
Cowboys
Rodgers.
should be better than they were, right? I mean, where the Cowboys fall apart is December, and I keep hearing about how this is their year and all of that, and they're like, oh yeah, we got better, and we're gonna take down the Eagles, and it's like, okay, well, cool, but you still have Dak, and he has a tendency to throw to both teams consistently, and so whether it's yours or theirs or so.
He's the most unselfish quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Right.
Everybody gets the ball. Everybody gets to play.
Everybody
when
gets
he's on
the ball.
field.
Offense,
Everybody gets to
defense,
play.
offense,
Here.
defense.
Here you go, Eagles. Take the ball. You
He's
haven't
the
catch
Oprah
it.
of distributors. He's like, you get the ball and you get the ball.
Yeah,
Everybody gets the ball.
Everybody gets fantasy points when he's on the field.
I mean, if they
man.
included interceptions, his QBR would be amazing.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I feel like the Cowboys is one of those teams. It's not my most hated team in football,
No, it's
but it's up there.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't actually dislike the team. Like, they've had some amazing rosters. They just can't figure out how to put wins together. The whole Jason Garrett clap festival, that was 8-8 forever. But that roster was better than 8-8. I mean, when you looked at it on paper, you're like, this team should be winning this division. It shouldn't be a division that was, not won by the same team twice in a decade. It was one where Dallas really should have won, probably 3 or 4 of the last, division titles there.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, through the playoffs, who knows what would have happened? But, if they could have figured out how to win after Thanksgiving, that would have been their the last 5 years.
No, exactly. No, going back to Poppy's point, I don't see I think that's a good comparison. I think the Patriots are going to be like the Dallas Cowboys of this generation, because there's no way that they're going to go back to being that kind of a dynasty.
Not
unless,
dominant like that.
Not as dominant.
Unless they get Mahomes tomorrow,
Yeah.
Not with Josh Allen and
No.
2 in that division. They're
in
not.
that division. No, it's not going to happen anytime soon. So
Well-
yeah, I do think at one point you will be able to see the Patriots as, hey, the Cowboys of the early 2000s.
Yeah, I feel
And-
like
To the thousands, yeah.
after Belichick retires, right? I feel like they're gonna go through a period where they're just gonna try to find their footing. They're probably gonna rotate through a few head coaches for a couple of
rebuild.
years, and
It's a
then
rebuild.
maybe they'll get somebody that they'll put their trust in, and then maybe they'll make a couple of
Bill
playoff
O'Brien.
appearances, a few playoff runs. But I don't think that we're gonna see them in the bowl anytime soon.
No, definitely. I mean, especially if Mac Jones is your guy, right? Like
No.
that he's not that dude.
He's not.
If y'all
So-
want Davis Mills, take him.
Switch
First
out number
round,
10.
first
So-
round pick for
I
them.
don't worry about someone being too tall for him, though.
Yeah.
Like he
That
can
neck.
go over everybody.
That neck. It takes
This is
5
his-
minutes.
This is his neck, basically.
Oh man, so the old Bud
Davis
Bowl.
Mills is a beer bottle.
We're so mean.
Oh,
guys. We're gonna
yeah,
go
we're
to hell.
terrible.
I
We'll
love
see
it.
you there. So let's talk Seahawks. How do you see the Seahawks playing out in the division that they're in?
So I still think that they are a wild card team. I think the Niners are the better team in the division, but they do take a huge step forward. So there were some things that were glaring issues last year. One of them, obviously, is they couldn't stop anybody from running. They were basically giving up almost 200 yards a game to everybody. And then we didn't have any real linebackers. So any kind of like slant or seam route to a tight end, it was a first down almost every time. So, I mean, they were giving up crazy yards. The fact that they were able to make it into the playoffs was awesome, considering they were the 30th ranked defense. So it was only helped because they were a top 5 offense for most of the year. So the thing that's nice there is you get JSN in. So now you have a really nice slot receiver to complement Lockett and DK. You get in Charbonnet to back up, Walker. They did get interior linemen, which is awesome for the offensive line, because if you watched some of the games last year, Walker was breaking tackles before he made it to the line of scrimmage. It's really hard to put up. It's hard to put up rushing yards that way, right? Our offensive line was pretty good against, pass rush, but when it was opening holes, it was terrible. So between free agency and the draft, we brought in 2 linebackers, 3 defensive linemen, 3 offensive linemen. You're getting another All-American at corner, so that's probably going to be one of the best secondaries in the league. So I really look at that defense going from 30th to probably being like 14th or 15th.
Yeah, middle of the pack type of
Yeah.
thing.
I can see that. I can see
Forward,
that.
right? Huge step forward for the
You guys keep the top 5 offense.
exactly.
You guys are probably going to be one of the most fun teams to watch.
Yeah.
next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe
But-
second in the division. Honestly,
Yeah.
second in the division.
Well, no,
Behind
and
the
it will.
49ers.
Yeah.
Big shout out to really quick. Big shout out to Brad from College Sportscast. He says, "What's up, guys? Guys,
What's up,
check
Brad?
out Brad. Brad's amazing. One of the best sources for college sports, right there. Please check him out. College
He's
Sports
all right.
Cast with Brad. He's a good dude.
I bet.
It's all love, bro. It's all love.
Yeah. So if they can keep the offense just kind of where it was, then yeah, they still end up second in the division. Because the season is just we have a much harder schedule this time, right? We don't play the NFC South where it was full of teams that didn't want to win, despite the fact that somehow they went 0-4 against those teams. But we just won't talk about that. But
No, please keep talking about it.
Now you're playing the
Go into
Eagles.
detail.
Yeah, we just sweep that under the rug. But you're playing top teams this year consistently. So even though I think the team takes a big step forward, I think it really only comes down to one extra win in the regular season. So I think they're a 10-7 team and go in as a wild card.
I remember one of the first times you and I spoke on this podcast. I asked you if you thought Gino was Like, what was the plan with him? Like, is he going to be the guy moving forward? Is he just going to be like a
Is
placeholder type of thing? How do you feel?
Is he him?
Yeah. How do you feel about him going into next season?
So here's the thing with him, right? Like, we don't know, right? We have 1 year to take.
That's how everybody feels about Gino, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like, we really don't know. We have 1 year to take. The thing that I'm encouraged about is the things that he did really well last year are things that are duplicatable, right? He protected the ball. He made smart reads. He was willing to throw it away when he needed to. He was athletic enough to get, extend plays, get out of trouble, whatever. So these are all things that you can do year after year, right? Because it's protection. So it's not like he was out there doing some miraculous play, like he scrambled for 80 yards. It really needs everything to fall in place to make that happen. That's hard to duplicate. But the things that he did were mostly, football IQ related things, which you can take year to year. And so that's why I'm encouraged about him moving forward. Plus, his contract is super team friendly. There's outs after every year, and it's not super expensive. So if for whatever reason it was a one and done and he just happens to be terrible, they can move on. I don't foresee that being a problem because, again, everything that he was doing is stuff that he can continue to do.
I love that you say that, because it wasn't like, kind of like you said, like it wasn't like top 10
out of this world,
top 10 place of the week type of highlights.
Yeah,
give the ball to DK, give it to
exactly. It was like making the right play.
Yeah,
it was about making the right play.
And what's crazy is kind of under the radar from it. I mean, obviously his accuracy was great, right? He led the league in QBR. But what was crazy is he set the franchise record for passing yards last year.
Who had on the bigger card? Nobody.
It totally goes under the radar. Like, he sets the Seahawks single season passing record
over Russ.
Over Russ. Exactly. And nobody's talking about that.
What was the record?
I don't remember. I don't remember offhand, but he threw for like 4,400 yards.
I would say it's like 4,400 yards.
Jesus.
It was like 4, 5 yards.
I don't know if Russ actually got really over 4,000 with as a Seahawk.
That's crazy, because I could have sworn that he did.
No, he threw. Russ, no, it was a lot of running attack. And where his highlights came in,
it was beast mode, man. It was all Rashard Lynch, like beast mode. His best years was beast mode, like, bro, like that.
But
that cat, man, he was something.
Even when it was heavier on the Russ passing, right? Like, the highlights would be he'd launch this deep ball down the field. What they would
moonshots, basically.
Right. Yeah, exactly, right? The best moon ball in the league. Like, that's cool, but you get 2 of those a game, and then we'd end up with like 8 or 9 3-and-outs because he didn't really like his tight ends. So it's just like, okay, well, cool. You made Sports Center. Awesome. And you do win some games that way, but it's like, you're not going to win playoff games that way, right?
He did. He didn't win the playoff games.
No. Not after the rushing attack went away. I mean, because when you look at the Hawks from 2014 on, they haven't had a starting running back not end on IR during the season. So they haven't had the same guy that started the season carry all the way through since 2014.
Yeah, when they moved up from beast mode, that was the end. That was the end for that dynasty.
You all right, Rios? Good.
Are you 12? What's happening here?
Yeah. Rios has reverted back to being.
It's all about baseball.
It's all about baseball.
I'm sorry.
What about Hasselbeck?
Hasselbeck.
Yeah. What about him?
We're gonna win it and then lose this to the Packers.
You know what? He threw a touchdown pass. I mean,
hey,
we want the ball
and they lost.
No, he was never in danger of setting that record because you got to remember he had Sean Alexander on that team, who was the league MVP for that Super Bowl run, and was the rushing champ that year and missed being the rushing champ the year before by 1 yard. So a lot of that didn't fall on Hasselbeck being the guy.
No, that was all Sean Alexander. He was so fun to watch, though, man. He was so fun to watch.
He was frustrating. So as a Hawks fan, I feel like he's one of the most overrated dudes because he was behind.
Wow.
No, because he was behind one of the best offensive lines ever constructed, and he had a lead. He had a true fullback in front of him all the time in Max Strong. So like he wasn't getting touched until he was 5 or 6 yards down. And if it started to break down at all he did was run straight to the sideline, which is why his career ended as soon as he went to Washington, because their O-line was trash and he was done after that season.
So in Seattle, Russ does obviously hold a franchise record with 37,059 yards all-time.
Oh yeah.
This all-time passing yards leader is followed by Matt Hasselbeck and Dave Krieg. I think that's the last name.
Krieg. Yeah.
With 29,434 yards.
Well, yeah, Dave Krieg got to throw to guys like Brian Blades and Steve Largent, and he had some pretty decent dudes around.
Man, Steve Largent, man, that's the I've heard in a long time.
He was confident. He was confident.
Yeah, he knows his shit, man. He knows his shit.
I actually loved it. I watched that game live, and I loved that he said that. I was just like, hell yeah, here we go. And then, I mean, again, he did throw a touchdown pass. Wasn't our team, but he threw one.
Hey, they all count.
Steve Largent on the watch, man. Steve Largent, he was that dude back in the days.
I mean, probably one of the most crisp route runners you'll ever watch. Like, even if you go back and look at old tape, his route running ability was awesome because he wasn't the fastest dude ever. No. Although if you want to have the best Steve Largent clip, it was fantastic. It was I forget who the quarterback was. I want to say it was probably Zorn, might have been Craig. Threw an interception. The ball was going to Largent. He turns around and basically gives him a crackback hit 10 yards back and causes a fumble, and the Hawks get the ball back.
Wow.
Nice.
He remembers every freaking detail about it.
Oh, I mean, it's a great video. It's worth looking at.
I mean, Steve Largent, he was there.
Jesus, man. Hey, before we go, I know, I'm like, Bo, before we go, from an outsider's perspective, because the people that watch our show, they already know how we feel about the Texans, how we're going to do this season. From an outsider's perspective, on the outside looking in here, how do you feel the Texans are going to do? Give us your perspective on it this season.
So the Texans, they're not going to be good, right? But
that's all the time we had for Bo.
No. But they've done some things in this offseason that were really smart, and they're trending the right direction, right? And so I don't know that they're definitely not going to be that team this year, but I would say next year they have a shot at turning into kind of a wild card team. I think they're a couple years away from kind of putting these pieces together. You need another off season where they're putting some more nice pieces together. Obviously they had a great draft. Those first couple picks were amazing. So, I mean, I like the things that they're doing. They're just, they had so many holes that they had to fill that although it was really great what they did, it doesn't plug all the holes they needed. And so I think that's where next off season they can add some more pieces and then they can become a really relevant team. But I mean, it's I think the games that they were in that were close last year are games that they can win now that, they came up just short in last year. So, whether it was a game that they strung out with the Cowboys that I honestly thought going into that they were going to get blown out in. Right. And, they string that out to the last minute. And I think with the way that the team is starting to shape up, that's a game that they potentially could win. Right. Whereas last year, definitely not. So it's definitely going the right way. I don't think this year is that year for them, though. So I think they double their win total. I think they double their win total, but don't make it to the playoffs.
What do we think?
I will disagree.
Where do you think we end up in our division?
Uh,
Because the thing is, our division is trash.
Awful. It is. It is. I think you're kind of still battling for last place in your division, unfortunately.
No way.
No way.
Oh,
No
I
way.
do.
Jeez, bro.
And
See,
that's all the time. we have.
always how we have.
so Bo is sorry. I was trying to let you in. I was trying to let you back in. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
I mean, again, because I just don't know how your rookies are going to mesh.
right.
That's true.
Right. So that's kind of the biggest thing is I don't know how those pieces are going to come together quite yet. But,
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, he's not coming back. He's not coming back
Ever again.
No, but that's what I want to see. Like, no, and that's the reason I asked, because it's we we talk about it all the time, like where we see our team this season or whatever, and I want to see what people who outsiders perspective, like how the rest of the league views the Texans, and that's the whole point of it, because we want to see like.
and
I will say
where-
this: I'm a pessimist, and I see them winning the division, make the playoffs. Me as a pessimist.
I think we
This
come.
is-
this is the thing is I want to see what the progression with your rookie quarterback is going to be.
Yeah.
So I don't overhype a rookie quarterback the way that a lot of media likes to, because the one thing I don't love is your offensive line, and you have a rookie quarterback. Those don't generally end up being awesome if your offensive line has some questions and you have an inexperienced quarterback that's not quite ready for the, not used to the speed, we'll say, because it's not like you really get experience out in practice. So it's going to be, can he make that run? How quickly does he make that leap to the speed of the NFL? And can your offensive line keep him off the carpet? Because if they can't, it's really tough for a rookie to get confidence in that scenario. I'm not saying it's a trash O-line, but it's still not great.
I feel like
I
halfway through the season, through the season, he will be a better, twice the quarterback that Mills was last year.
I agree with that.
He already is. He already is at this point.
Well, like he said, we got to see how he adapts to
how he progresses through change, how he adapts to
college
different
and
schemes.
the NFL are different things.
Yeah.
So I feel like halfway through the season, if we're still like around 500, we can definitely come at least second in our division.
Yeah,
I would say.
See, I predicted.
I agree with that.
I predicted this season we were going to be at least second in the division as well, right behind the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just because I don't see any progression from the Tennessee Titans, and the Colts are just a mess right now.
Yeah,
I called my shot. I said we're winning.
And that's what's helping us out, and that's what I think is going to help us out as well. Our O line, Bo, they did some. They re-signed Laramie Tunsil. And then Titus Howard. Those are great pieces to have on the O line. Shaq Mason, they got him from Tampa Bay. I like that signing. I think that was fine. I think that was good. And then he looks like he's going to be a guy that eventually might even go for how do you call it, an extension later on. Did they do it already, Rios, or not? I can't remember that.
Not yet.
But most likely he looks like a guy that will be
because in
one of those
pass protection, he's top 5 pass protection.
And that's why I say, right, like I don't think your O-line's trash by any means. It's just there's places for defenses to get through it, right?
Yeah. No, exactly.
So
it has to gel. It has to gel well as well. That's the thing. It's all about chemistry as well. So even if you can have it could look good on paper, but it all depends on how well it meshes as well.
Well, and that's why I've kind of rated them lower than you guys will, because I want to see where these guys go, right? Because you just have a lot of young players on there, so you need to see how they, either have their rookie season or how they move, how a couple of those guys have their second season, right? So that's why I've kind of had them lower than say you guys will.
I would say the question marks are the center and the interior.
Good Lord, Rios is hitting puberty. Okay. Now, Bo, I will tell you this, Bo. Thank you for joining us. We're going to end the show now because it's been about an hour. But nonetheless, we usually go for an hour. That's why. Before
you close it out, because I have to now. But before you close it out, the Texans will have a better record than the Seahawks by the end of the year.
Oh,
Is that a hot take?
That is
No,
that
my
is
hot take is division winners. Division winners right here.
We will have a
Division
better
winners.
record.
Not even
Is
that.
that-
Heard it here first.
what kind of
Division winners.
smoking over there?
Hey, you're
It's
the one
not
who just came
legal.
from Mexico. You tell me. All
Right on, guys.
I gotta go.
All right.
Hey.
Bo, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
It was a
joining us. We
pleasure.
gotta have you back again, brother. Like it's
Absolutely.
always fun
Sure,
when you're
man.
around.
Always love
Yeah.
being on with you guys.
Thank you, man. I
All right.
appreciate it. All right, y'all. Please check out Bo on his follow him up on Twitter right here at Football Talk with Bo. Please follow him up. Thank you again, as always, for joining us, Bo. We'll have you on again soon. Thank you, sir, with our new outro. Peace.
Take it easy, guys.